A very proud moment for all of. It's one of kind of initiative which NASCOM is doing with GCC consortium. And just to give you a recap, when we started discussing about what we should do to help the community, it was a no-brainer. We had discussed on multiple aspects and multiple initiatives, but unanimously we have decided we will go with something on water conservation. Again, it's a no-brainer because water has no alternative, and that's why we decided we will go with rainwater harvesting project. Multiple facets to this particular initiative. One is definitely on the waterfront. Second, how it's going to help the schools and the kids. The total, by this intervention, the total number of kids, those who are going to get impacted, it's around 10,000 approximately in phase one. Thanks to GCC consortium to help us here. We have approximately 15 organizations in phase one to help us here, and definitely this number will go big in future.
The rainwater harvesting solutions that we are providing for schools is a bit different from what typically you will find outside. A lot of people use thumb rules, and there are set procedures based on which rainwater harvesting solutions are typically designed. However, in this project what we are doing is we are actually doing a detailed survey. I mean, we are talking to the SDMC members, we are talking to the school members, we usually get the footprint of the area, the building size, we make a layout, and then we build a mathematical model. And then actually we use 5-minute rainfall data from KSNMDC, which is Karnataka State Natural Disaster Monitoring Center. They provide 5-minute rainfall data across Bangalore. So when we use 5-minute data and we build a mathematical model, then we come up with this 3-level of interception or 3-level of interventions as our total solution. The first thing is we see what is their daily consumption at these schools. We take and then we take all the water that's coming from the rooftop, and that is drained to a filter, and from the filter we take it to a sump. If the sump is not adequately sized, we actually create or we put a new tank, a new underground sump together, and then we close the loop. So basically, as a first intervention, all the rainfall is through filter. It is given for consumption, and if there is an excess rainfall, then that is taken to a borewell recharge. And if there are some rainfall events where you still have more excess rainfall, so we take that rainfall and we send it to the soak pit. So with this 3 levels of intervention, what we are aiming to do is to capture 100% of rainfall from the entire rooftop area. There is a lot of engineering that goes behind such a solution. When implemented, when this rainwater harvesting solution is implemented properly with a properly designed solution, it can address a lot of issues like health and hygiene. We have seen in some schools actually the toilets were not clean because lack of water, and there is just a tanker of water in Bangalore costs about anywhere from 300 rupees to 800 rupees. So you can add them, you can do the math. I mean, there is no way that money can give enough water for the school. So there is a situation like, especially in the eastern part of the Bangalore and northern part of the Bangalore, where groundwater level has already gone down big time. I mean, we are talking about 1200 to 1500, in some cases 1800 below ground level. So this is the situation, and with using this rainwater to directly recharge the aquifers, we have special engineered structures for that, where maximum amount of water is sent back to the aquifer. So the whole idea is during the monsoon we use as much as rainfall possible for direct consumption through filtration, and we are also providing UV filter at the end, ultrafiltration and ultraviolet treated water at the end at the consumption end, and the excess water is also recharged to the groundwater aquifers. So during the summertime, this groundwater is during the monsoon period, the groundwater aquifer is recharged, and during the summer period the same groundwater is available for the consumption. So we are making sure that every drop of water from all the buildings in every school that we are touching either gets consumed or it gets sent to the recharge of aquifers. As we know, and at the same time, half of the Bangalore is relying on groundwater. This groundwater is, it takes a lot of time for the groundwater to recharge, and we don't realize how quickly we are depleting this groundwater. So this is a very precious resource, and if this rainwater harvesting solution, that what we are proposing in government, or rather what we are implementing in Bangalore right now in few schools, if this is applied to every government building or every to begin with, and every rooftop eventually, if we cover and recharge groundwater, then 800 or so, 850 mm or so, whatever annual average rainfall that we get over Bangalore is more than sufficient to keep Bangalore going for a long time. I mean, this is how the water, we can make this water resources sustainable. As Clearwater Dynamics, we are extremely proud to be associated with this project. This is an extremely important project for us. We are taking a very scientific approach, and behind every rainwater harvesting solution that is being given for each school, solution is properly engineered. I mean, we build mathematical models, and these models are backed up by the data. We collect a lot of data before we start putting together a model together, and we understand how much rainfall that we get in that area and how much runoff that gets generated. And that water is actually basically is taken as the 3 levels of interventions. First, after filtration, it gets used for consumption, and in the second level, it goes to the directly recharging the borewell. And as a third, if there is excess water, we are taking a very scientific approach, and behind every rainwater harvesting solution that is being given for each school, solution is properly engineered. I mean, we build mathematical models, and these models are backed up by the data. We collect a lot of data before we start putting together a model together, and we understand how much rainfall that we get in that area and how much runoff that gets generated. And that water is actually basically is taken as the 3 levels of interventions. First, after filtration, it gets used for consumption, and in the second level, it goes to the directly recharging the borewell. And as a third, if there is excess water, that water is taken to the soak pits. So with these 3 levels of interventions, we make sure that every single drop of water is captured from the entire area. So this is a very comprehensive solution, and this has a potential to change the landscape of water resources scenario in Bangalore if applied Bangalore wide. And we really thank both NASSCOM and the Forward Foundation for making Clear Water Dynamics as technology partners. Thank you.